We're here. We're finally at the end. Hi, I'm Fox, any pronouns. Welcome to the last treat or terror of the year with Treehouse of Horror XXXIII. We open on a book. That also opens, and we see Marge bringing Maggie to her room. She reads The Pookadook. It's terrifying, but Maggie urges her to finish, which only frightens her more. Marge calms her down, only for Maggie to start wailing during the night. The book is in her crib. They tear it up and throw it away. And during the day, Maggie is drawing it and shooting the drawings with a crayon crossbow. The book is back, and Marge burns it. Smoke enters her and changes her. Possessed Marge sends everyone off to the aquarium for an overnight stay, leaving Maggie alone with her. She escapes to the basement, barely managing to lock the door, giving her a moment to prepare. Marge bursts in. Maggie manages to knock her out and tie her up. She tries desperately to snap Marge out of it, reminding her of the love of her family, only for Marge to point out how shitty the family is, actually. She gets free, and Maggie has one last hope: Marge's love for her. The Pookadook leaves her, blooms over them.
Stay back, you overdressed hat demon! I know you feed on my repressed resentment towards my family, but I can swallow feelings like a python eating a baby goat.
She vacuums the evil spirit up and embraces Maggie.
Gotta say, great first segment. I enjoyed it way more than I ever did the Babadook. It's nice to have the show acknowledge how Marge is treated within the family, but how she still loves them. It's a solid start, so much fun. Definitely worth checking out.
Next is Death Tome, a parody of Death Note. Right off the bat, we see a gorgeous Japanese anime style. I love it. A book falls from the sky at Lisa's feet as she's monologuing about how awful humanity is. It says that if you write someone's name in it, they die. She thinks it's a prank, but keeps it anyway. At home, she watches the news with Marge, where Jailbird is holding an internet-famous cat hostage. She decides to write his name in the tome, just in case. Shockingly, it works. Lisa internally grapples with causing his death when Steve Johnson, a Shinigami, shows up. Burns is over, drinking with Homer. He reveals he's going to melt the polar ice caps. Lisa knows what she has to do. At least she gives him the most peaceful way to go. In theory. It's not over, though. There are lots of people on the board of his company, after all, so Lisa gets to writing. Since everyone has to die differently, she gets pretty creative. I like the toilet gator. Lisa thinks she's getting away with mass murder, but it seems that a mysterious detective known as L realizes all the deaths are connected, and he knows how it's done. She doesn't know his whole name, so she can't use the tome against him. But then she realizes it's El Barto. He found her out by reading her diary. She is ready to kill her own brother, but at the last minute writes Steve's name, killing him, and turning her into a Shinigami. This was so much fun. The art, the music, the jokes, top notch. I really enjoyed all the anime designs for different characters. There was care and thought put into this for sure. The final segment is Simpsons World. We see Homer and family on the monorail, and two strangers forcing him to drink. He ends up banging his head and getting broken. It turns out he's an android, made for an amusement park, and this is a parody of Westworld. He undergoes a hard reset, and driven through familiar callbacks to classic episodes, the workers take off their gear, revealing a more human skin tone, which is confusing because one of the real humans from before had yellow skin. The Homer droid wakes up and messes with the self-awareness slider, and has a lot of questions. Homer accidentally kills them. Then he walks through cages of offline robots and wakes up one of the Lisas and ups her self-awareness too. Together they choose a version of the rest of the family, but not Grandpa. We see other yellow-skinned real people, so I am further confused by these two.
Editor's note: it took going through clips to see that park-goers get painted to look like Simpsons characters, which makes so much more sense. I don't know why they kept it such a background detail.
But whatever, moving on. Some park-goers chant meme and make Homer do the hedge meme. Homer shoves them in the hedge, which somehow kills them, raising so many more questions. The family tries to run, but a horde of Ralphs surrounds them. The family fights back, using old Simpsons references to take them down. There's too many, however. But just when the family thinks they're done for, Marge drives in to the rescue. They get out of there, making their way to Bob's Burgers. Then we pan out and see different IP parks. We end with King and Kodos, who panic, seeing themselves in the book from the opening. This sure was a segment. Not awful. I actually did enjoy it for the most part. A bit underwhelming after the spectacular showing of the previous two, but still a solid B. Overall, this was a fantastic Treehouse. You can add the whole segment to your own marathon and not be disappointed. These past two have really showed that The Simpsons still has its spark. They're still trying. They still have passion. At least for the Halloween episodes. I can't speak about the main series. But here, they really are getting that spark back. I sincerely hope it continues for however many seasons the show gets. Well, that's it, folks. That's all the Treehouse of Horror episodes so far. Don't you dare bring up This Year Has One. I cannot watch another second of the show. My eyes will fall out. Thank you all so much for joining me on the first Treat or Terror. Next year's will be more timely. And that's it for me. I'm going to go rest up. See you in the new year. Unless taking a break gives me too much anxiety and I have to post another video in December. Either way, thanks for joining my lucid screaming.